Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your co-pilot into the universe of Chinese. I'm going to share and continue on this journey of one expression to another. And okay, I changed my front picture to show like it's starry night. Universe of language, and each of the stars it's symbolically look like one word or one character, and they form, stars, we look at it almost like a flat, okay, they are dots on a sphere at most, but actually it got its depth, right? So it's a space full of individual characters, and it's a kind of network that without a connection line drawn, but each of the characters are going to be having its unique relationship with other characters. Some are not, but some they can form into another concept. So that's the whole idea of what we're doing here, is to jumping from one expression and connect the different dots, and each time we're presenting you a different set of expression. Like last time we talked about 声东击西. So you're making the sound on the east, but you are attacking the west. So that's a military strategy. And so today we continue with the Xi character, okay, that star, but it's going to connect with another 3 different characters to make new meaning. And this is 西天取经. 西天取经 is classical Chinese story called The Journey to the West. I will show you in the next page. But let's dissect the meaning one by one. Xi is the West, is the same. This character came from the nest hanging on the tree, because we used birds returning to their nests at the end of the day. So the sun falls to the west, that's the end of the day. So we use the nest, means birds returning nest, implying it's the end of the day, implying that's the west. Okay, so there are several logic steps there. Okay, 天, okay, here we have 6 different renderings of how 天 used to be written. And you can see that's exactly, and that's not even a stick figure anymore. That's like a full body depiction with the head and the 4 limbs and the torso in the middle, right? But eventually the human figure was simplified to be just the stick figure like that, right? Just a torso and 2 legs without the indicators for the head or the arms. But here, this 天 word, it's this figure with the head, especially like this horizontal line, it becomes a line, but originally that's the head portion. So 天, this word used to mean the head of a person. And I guess, yeah, if we regard humans, like before technology, before we can go further into far away places or further out, like anti-gravity, go into spaces, human is really the measure of things, right? So we regard the head portion of the human body as the top, your upper bound, so to speak, your top limit. So that eventually becomes the indicator of 天, the sky, like that's where your head portion touches, like that's the upper limit of you. 取, okay, this word is, I didn't put the original form, but telling you on the left side. So both sides are meaning makers. This is one of the formations. It's like we put 2 symbols together to make meaning. And it's a pretty bloody symbol there. 取 on the left side is the symbol for ears. Okay, that's 耳. And on the right side, it looks like harmless. It's a U. It's like again. It's like a re something, right? So it's harmless, but actually this is a simplified symbol for hand. So the hand gesture, we have several renderings, different versions for hand, but this is one of them. the hand gesture, so it kind of can see, right? So it's like you have this wrist portion, and then you have, the fingers or palm around here. So that's a simplified hand. So what does it mean? A hand next to the ear. Okay, so actually from the ancient battlefield, if you defeat somebody, instead of like the Indians sculpt your enemy, this is taken off your enemy's ear. So taken an ear becomes take, the action of take, from that ear taking motion. Okay. Recently I read a book called The Better Nature of The Better Angel of Our Nature. Okay. And it talks about the ancient times are actually much, much more violent than we ever pictured or imagined. We are living in extreme peace in the evolution of human society. Right now, we're at the most peaceful time, and the culture passing down to us, or in the media, we're exposed really a toned down version of whatever happened in the past. And so, yes, well, I'm preparing the content for showing Chinese. A lot of characters, a lot of meaning came from really bloody history. So that's kind of another evidence to show our ancestors really living in a lot more violence than we could have imagined. So that's 取经. Okay, on the 经 we talked about before, but again, this is weft. So it's kind of this direction because in the ancient times that the clothing, the fabrics were woven mostly, and it's handmade craft. It's woman's job mostly. So it's like everybody knows this is the thread going weft, warp, weft. So 经 is warp. If you see the sign here, kind of tangling thread over there, that means thread. And the right side is the sound maker. So that means a thread. Okay, so we use this thread symbol to mean in here scripts, because in ancient times, valuable thoughts, ideas, words were kept. One kind is to on the shelves, right? So it's passing down really generations. But one form is to put in this fabric or silk or whatever kind of fabric that used to carry before before paper time. So that's the carriage or media to keep messages. So that fabric, one direction of the fabric thread, extended into the meaning of that's precious written form on the fabric. And normally it's scrolled up, right? Because it's fabric, it's easy, you roll it up, and that becomes the script, our symbol of script. So, okay, here is the story. This is 1984. The blockbuster in China, The Journey to the West. And you can see it's 4 guys plus a horse. So 5 of them. The horse is a magical horse. It's actually a pretty handsome dude it can be transformed into. And the main character is this Monkey King. You probably have heard of or saw the image. And today we are not going into details, but it's quite a fun show. Imagine 1986, when the TV and especially color TV first introduced to China, and the whole Chinese audience were captured by this very imaginative depiction of how this 4 actually they are monks. So they are with their own special talents. Especially this guy is super, how to say, it's a great martial artist. Okay, so and also have magical abilities like flying on the cloud, to kind of on its personal jet, just by flying over the cloud to travel very far, very quickly. So they have supernatural abilities, but they are still on their way to retrieve, to take the scripts. They encountered many challenges or troubles or evils, however to say. So it's but the 4 of them bound together. They sometimes they have to ask for a referee from heaven, right? Somebody come down to, make peace, and so that they can continue their journey. Sometimes they form some strategies to maneuver to, get away from a bad situation. So in the end, they do retrieve the scripts, and that is kind of symbolic of how we gain wisdom to get connected to a bigger world. And the Xi Tian, I didn't explain. West sky in that Buddhism conceptual world is similar, almost like a heaven concept in a Christian world. That China, because we regard on the east side there's ocean, right? So that's kind of to us the end of the world back then, right? But the Xitian is somewhere unknown terrain that you can travel by the land, but very few people in ancient time can make that far, right? So it becomes a legendary representative place, almost like a paradise to us. Like over there, truth is kept, and it's peaceful. It's extreme happiness. Like every projections of what you don't get in this world that you're living in, it's almost like the afterlife, the happier version of what you could get. So we try to get truth from that happy place. Okay, that's the whole story. Hope you enjoyed today's show, and come check in to the currency of thinking, like just one word a day. See you another day.